if you can't handle gluten, bitch, you might have to die from gluten.
And this is the bonus content of episode 13 with the
You
Spooky
made
Witch
it.
Titito.
You made it.
You said you have like one story you wanted
No,
to
we're
share.
talking about art.
We're talking about art. Like for me,
art that moved you.
I don't remember who painted that. Like the Goliath eating.
Look it up.
Is Goliath is eating his sons? I don't. I'll Google it. I don't remember right now, but I saw that and I saw It's not the extravagant one with the melted clocks.
Dali.
Dali. It was
Surrealism.
yeah. He had like a lot of his paintings in the El Museo Sofia. It is in Spain, and his art is like it just catch you. It's
Sure.
like it's like you gotta like just. It's not something you're gonna put like on a wall and you're gonna walk by, but and that's it. No, you have to see it.
I like those paintings. I've seen a few paintings that pull me in. I'm a huge Van Gogh fan.
Okay.
I think Van Gogh's the greatest. I think Van Gogh's the GOAT. I think Van Gogh's the GOAT.
He was.
He was Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to describe it. He was his own thing. That if you look at his paintings, they move. He doesn't paint. He hit the thing with his brush, and he created these intense, vivid. And then he was obsessed with the peasants, and he's got this painting where they're eating above a fire or eating next to a fire, and their hands. It almost drove him crazy. He worked on the hands for like almost a year. And it drove him like nutty. I know, no, I don't want to get too far into it.
No,
But like Van Gogh, if you like listen to like the stories behind almost every painting, because he wrote his brother a story for every painting, and you're put where he is, what's going on, what he's seeing, you can almost hear it. It's fucking dude, Van Gogh
and the fucked up
fucks.
part about all what happened with him is that he was when he painted, he was not famous. He
No.
was not getting money about for art. Like he died as a poor person because his art
He-
was not recognized.
Well, he had a psychotic break. He had a real intense psychotic break. His brother, man, if you can, there's a documentary on YouTube about Van Gogh's life.
Okay.
It's short, sweet, and full of great information. And I've done the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, and so like I did the walking audio tour. I was just like, I love this dude.
You did it in English or Spanish?
In English, and worth it if you're over there. It's one of the best museums in the world. But anyways, he has this psychotic break, and his brother is an art dealer, and his brother only sold one of his pieces. But by then, all these other different styles were popular, and Van
Okay.
Gogh was too like common to them. It's like, oh, that's just a it's just a painting of like the grass or whatever with some
Okay.
birds, whatever. But Van Gogh, turns out the myth is he killed himself.
Okay.
But I think the truth is he was killed and shot by someone, and Van Gogh, being the generous, giving person that he was either robbed or something happened. When the cops came to the house to ask like what happened, he said, I did this. No one else is to blame.
Yeah, it's not a phrase you say when you.
It's
kill
not a
yourself.
phrase when you get
When you unalive.
when you unalive yourself. And he always wrote to his brother. He had thought about it, and the thought of killing himself, if he would do it, was to drown himself, was to go into water. Water was his piece, and that was his
Yeah.
tap out. But a gunshot in the side of the rib,
Yeah,
like right
that's-
here.
Yeah, that's no.
So they reopened the case. They did a bunch of stuff, and they found out it had to be from 1 to 1.5 feet away, and it had to be this one type of gun. Almost like 20 years ago, some farmer in that village was walking around the land, and he found a gun. He found a gun that would have matched the time of Van
Period.
Gogh and a common gun that was from that era. So they don't know because we can't say.
Yeah.
But they don't know. The suicide is very unlikely now, and it looks like he might have been robbed, or someone that he had beef with, because he got into a fight with a friend who was kind of a
What if it
a
was
drunk.
his brother?
No, his brother was in Paris at the time.
Okay.
And here's the crazy part: Van Gogh passes away. All his art's there. His brother dies a week later. A week later.
A little weird.
A little weird. And it was almost like Van Gogh was the left side of the brain and the brother was the right side of the brain. The brother had a wife, they were put together, he had a business, he sold art. Like he was, not a socialite, but he like got around, he knew his business. And his brother was the artist who just went fucking blah. And then a week after Van Gogh passes, his brother does.
And then the paintings went like...
So it was the wife of the brother who saw the paintings and they went to a Paris art gallery and was like, this guy's story is my brother, is my dead husband's brother. And the story was like, what? And then it's like, yeah, he had a mental breakdown. He lived in Paris. We put him in a psych ward, and then he lived with these peasants, and then he just made all these paintings and self-portraits. And they're like, okay. And then she was the one that fucking took Van Gogh to the top.
What if it was she?
What if she was the one that shot?
What if she knew?
What if it was the brother? She was tired of the letters. She was tired of the relationship she didn't have with her man.
And she knew it was gonna come to her.
Dude,
if both of them die.
Dude.
He was there.
That was fire. That's fire. What if it was her? What if it was her? That's crazy.
We have to find out. She was like with the brother when Van Gogh died, or she was like in a business trip.
Yeah, where's the receipts?
Show me the receipts.
Show me the receipts, lady.
I went with the girls to another country. It's like, where?
Yeah.
Show me where you were.
Yeah, let me see. Turn your GPS on. Let me see where you at.
Dude, I have this. This was one of the topics I wanted to talk about, but now that we're talking about like the past, I believe it's a nice segue. Segues are good in this podcast. There's a joke of Nate Bargatze.
Mm-hmm.
You know this joke that it went famous. It's a joke went famous recently, but it's an old joke of his that he says that he wouldn't like to go to the past because he, like with the information he has now, he's like, I cannot do shit. Like if I go back to like 1600 and it's like, I don't know how to make a battery. I don't know how to make electricity. And his joke is like, I believe like I can even prove I'm from the future. Like,
dude, if you go back to like 1912,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as recent as a little over 100 years ago, this shit was still horses and dirt and buggies and like a train.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, there's gonna be cars, and it's like, how can we make it? And you're like, that's a pretty nice question. Then you have there.
I think life is easier, but it's made us weaker. It's made us like, you have so many people so many health problems and so many things. Like the organism is so big that you're gonna have mutations along the way, and it's gonna create a lot of problems. But it's
already creating a lot of problems.
So there's a lot of problems out there genetically. Like if you kept things small, it was the stronger survive.
I don't know if you saw, but apparently there was a study recently that 100% of men have microplastic on their testicles.
Yeah, I know. Microplastics in my balls.
When I come, it's like plastic. Okay. But like that's happening now.
I always knew I had a super soaker. There you go. That's the joke.
I don't know like how is that gonna affect like
it's already affected everything.
Fertility
Of course.
Testosterone levels are to the ground.
So the testosterone levels are dropping, sperm levels are dropping, and a sign of fertility is the space between your butthole and the lower part of your sack, like the gooch. Yeah. And this scientist lady, she measured the sizes of gooches on kids over a period of time, and they're getting smaller. They're smaller. And it's all affecting the reproductive hormonal system.
She had to pull out a really nice investigation to be
well,
like, hey,
that's the joke. The joke is like, how do you convince like thousands of parents to be like, yeah, you can measure my son's gooch for the next few years?
Yeah, like, she's like, This is for science. Let me see that good.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. This is for
Let me
science.
measure that.
Well, it's a good that it's
How
a
do you
female.
measure you with my tongue?
Oh, you made it weird. You made it weird. You made it unnecessarily weird. But so yeah, there's and there's obviously not just men, but like women share the same society.
Yeah.
So they have microplastics in their and probably in breast milk. Probably it's causing a lot of them fertility issues. It's causing a lot of them to have mood swing issues, hormonal issues. Like this shit is real bad right now.
But I believe it's like the society like there are too many humans right now. I believe it's like a normal regulation of humans.
I don't know if there's too many humans, but what I think is
8 billion, right? 8 billion?
we're gonna be 9 billion by 2030. I think
Too much.
the birth rates are gonna they're plummeting. They're
dropping.
plummeting everywhere except for parts of Africa, but they're still plummeting. Because it turns out capitalism doesn't make room for fucking children.
Exactly. No, and you want like
Sorry, I mean it works for the individual, but doesn't work for the society,
family,
for
yeah.
the whole.
no,
But
and
what were we
women
saying?
and women getting into the workforce.
Oh.
That is something that happened.
Oh, what I was.
Cool, but that you don't have like the time to raise a kid.
Well, not only that, but I'm talking just hormonals, like your DNA,
Yeah.
your body, the way you react, from microplastics to lead to metals in water, metals in fish. That's why I stopped eating a lot of fish. Is because it's heavy in some metals, especially if it's farmed
And
fish.
salmon.
Yeah,
Do you see the shit about salmon? That they're having zombie salmons in some.
every fish is tested for fucking plastics. Every single fish is testing for plastics, which means we have plastic in our body, but plastic at this level is permanent. It's forever. They're like, especially when they have these forever chemicals from like DuPont that used to just put them in the fucking water. It's like carbon 8. It's an unbreakable carbon. It's like the strongest atom or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's in your body. It's in our body. It's my body right now. And it's fucking up everything. So you meet people who are, they're sensitive to light. They're sensitive to eye contact. They're sensitive to loud noises. They're sensitive to things. You're like, yeah, because deep down inside, shit's getting fucked.
the gluten free, is something that is this last decade. I
Yeah.
don't remember gluten free when
Mm.
I was a kid.
Do you know
was
most
not a thing.
American bread is not legal in Europe? The ingredients
Not
that,
just
that
the American bread. There's a lot of shit.
yeah, because the ingredients that we use here are horrible. They're horrible ingredients. So the bread's too sweet. There's no nutrition. They have to sugarize it. They have to flavor it, and they have to put all these additives. Bread's supposed to come out the oven, supposed to be sliced up, and you're supposed to eat it that
Yeah,
day or
that's it.
that week, right? And if you don't finish it, you put it in soup, and you make croutons. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's the life to it.
Or you made like a bread cake.
Yeah, but now bread doesn't even go bad. Bread doesn't even go bad. It just goes. It gets stiff, but like you don't see it go green crazy no
No.
more. Like that shit's done. Like what did you do to bread, bro? I stopped eating bread. Like period.
The chickens, like I just bought chicken recently, and it was like a
I don't need chicken.
dude. It was like
I
so
hate chicken.
fucking big, the
The
chicken
thigh.
breast.
Yeah,
And apparently
and it's beige and it's see through. It's almost like
yeah,
fluorescent.
and apparently it is at a point that is so big that if you see a farm, the chickens cannot walk.
Yeah,
because they're so heavy.
so big. Their legs give out from underneath, and then they have to. So what they do is, if you don't want to listen to this, don't. But it'll ruin your fucking meal.
Okay.
So these chickens lay and they get ulcers. They get ulcers and blisters because they don't move and they lay on their own urine and stuff, which is acidic. And when they do the chicken breast, you'll see these dots. And what they do is they bleach it. They pour it in uric acid, which is your pee. And that's how they bleach the breast of the chicken, so you don't know that it was an ulcer. So that means that skin is damaged.
Dude, like what they do to food, especially here in the United States, is stupid. Like I've seen like things like bread, and they have like 40 ingredients. Like it should be like 4 ingredients.
It should be
That's
4 ingredients
it.
max.
That's it.
You shouldn't listen, when we get down to it, I make my own food. I cook my own food. I barely order out.
What do you make? Like
I make soups. I follow more of a carnivore type of thing. I do a lot of just like red meat, liver, eggs, whole eggs, pasture raised, and dry cheeses like an aged cheddar, a Parmesan, or a Romano. and then I'll have like a little bit of cream, and then I'll have like a 3-ingredient ice cream. It's just milk, sugar, and whatever the shit is, you know. And like I keep it as basic and as plain as I can.
Is it difficult to
No.
find like those kind of ice creams?
No, they're pretty popular now.
Do you think the organic is actually organic? Or
I
they're
don't
just
care
branding
for
organic?
it's branding. Everything's branding. Certain items don't, like if you get organic avocados, that's stupid. That's stupid. There's no such thing. It's just organic means they didn't spray it with like with nitrate or whatever. So the skin doesn't have, but the skin you don't even touch. You just get rid of it. And like it makes very little difference. I mean, yeah, over time you could try to make an argument, but it's all coming from the same ground.
Okay.
And the ground's been bleached.
What do you think is going to happen in the next 30, 40 years? Because this is a thought that I actually have. That is that to buy a this like garage stores that you just buy the lot to put your stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanna do this. I wanna buy one and just stuff it with water, like to the fucking roof.
You should have a water filter, not bottles of water.
Yeah, but I mean this like because I believe in the next 30 years, water is gonna become like a really, really precious.
If you get like, you can make water. If we're in Chicago, we can set up like a gigantic dehumidifier and just pull it out of the air and then just filter it. You know, I mean, it depends because it might cost more money, but if you're just needing it to drink, you'll be fine.
But I believe the water is gonna like go.
Water for the masses, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like not a such availability.
Availability.
Like,
again, capitalism is unstopped. I believe that the earth will right itself. The earth, that we are all one. We are all one. Listen, I'm a spooky bitch. We are all one. And so, if we all get sick, the earth finds a way. Do you know that when leprosy in the Bible, you know? Do you know that when someone has leprosy, from what I've heard, so don't quote me, but you can Google it, within a few hundred feet, the plant that grows that heals leprosy starts to grow.
I'm gonna Google that.
So you know how things decompose, right?
Yeah.
It's like right now, if we were, for whatever reason, to lay down and it's over for us, our body will decompose, because right now in the air there's these tiny little like mushroom spores that only fucking show up once things need to be taken care of.
Okay.
And decompose organic matter. So this earth will find a way to correct itself.
But I believe one of the way to correct itself is like eliminating a lot of us.
And that might be the case. Yeah, because if we run out of water, then wars will happen and people will die. And it's just even though we don't think we're doing it on purpose for that reason, it's a self-correcting organism.
Mechanism.
Yeah. And it'll find out. And if we got to, we'll reduce population. Can we avoid it? I think so. Desalinization is getting there. I mean, the process of taking salt water and finding the water and taking the salt out is expensive. But in Israel, for example, they have the most advanced one, and they're proving that it's profitable. So that's all you need. All you need is profitability. Just like
but I believe COVID was a mechanism to reduce
I think that was jeez, I don't want to talk about COVID. I think that it wasn't as bad as they said it was, and that people took advantage of it to impose more overreaching power of government.
Yes, we're not gonna get into that, but I agree.
But yeah, so COVID may not be the best example. I think like the plague.
Yeah, but that was like 500 years ago.
Yeah, but that's okay. And there wasn't that many people, but they had to learn to wash their fucking hands and not shit in buckets and throw it outside. The organism fixed itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
do you believe we need one of those? Like one like
we don't need it.
Like
we
that?
really don't need it. First of all, no one's having kids, right? No one's having kids.
Some people are having.
Some people are having, but it's not a replaceable number. So we may have 9 billion right now, but I think we're gonna get down to like the 6, 7 within the next 100 years, right?
Yeah, no, I believe
China, Russia, all of them. Korea is Japan. Japan's building robots so they can take care of them.
And here's like naturally happening. Like people are like, I want dogs, I want to travel, I don't want a kid.
Yeah, and here's but some people they have that privilege, if you will, and then some people are like, life is fucking expensive, bro. And you want me to go have a kid, and that's gonna cost me $70,000 because I don't have insurance? You're out of your mind.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind. So we've taken a good thing and really like made it bad. Everything went towards money, education, healthcare, things. If we didn't have all these proxy wars and all these other wars, the amount of money the government in the United States could have invested in all of these things to fix it up, to make it modern, to push it towards the future. Instead, they did these war things. They're doing the same game from the 50s, bro. It's like, we're mad. You've polluted the waters. We got microplastics in our balls. You know, we're telling you there's better ways of doing shit. We're telling you not to fucking bomb innocent people. You're not listening to any of us. We're gonna fucking march on your ass.
But now, if the microplastic gets too bad and it's just in the balls, you think you can just remove the balls and you're okay, or,
No.
or it just migrate to
No.
the rest of the body?
Well, if it's in your balls, it's in your hormonal, it's in your reproductive system. So whatever that'll affect, it can affect your kidneys, it can affect your liver, it can affect your mood swings. Yeah, it'll go somewhere. You know, the body doesn't know what it is. It's not even attacking it because it only attacks like organic matter and bacteria.
Yeah, I believe it's a weird moment to be like white gloved. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, what the fuck is this?
But we'll find a way. And at the end of the day, I know that this is morbid, but the strongest will survive. If there is a pandemic, like there was, I never got it. I never got COVID.
I never got
My
COVID.
cousin, my primo Memo, his wife, his brother's wife, his two of his 4 kids, and his mother-in-law all had it, and he never won. And they live very close.
Did you vaccinate? Did you have the vaccine?
Unfortunately, yes.
I have just like the Johnson & Johnson, but I never
That's me too.
boosted.
Never. No, of
Once,
course
and
not.
that's it.
No. The game's
That's
over.
it.
The
Yeah.
game's over. The game's over.
I have it.
My arm went numb. My arm went numb for like a week, and I've been having digestive issues.
Because of the Johnson.
I cannot. You cannot say. You cannot say.
then.
But since then, I've had some really weird digestive issues. My arm went numb for a week. It was like I could lift it up like this, but I couldn't grasp anything. I couldn't close my hand, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Nothing else happened to me, and then all of a sudden, like within the last year and a half, I've been starting to get real gnarly digestive issues.
But I that is happening with a lot of shit, like gluten free, like what you're saying, like allergic to.
You really don't like this gluten-free thing?
No, it's just like it's something that didn't exist before, like gluten free peanut, like the allergic to peanuts. Like I see like kids that are allergic to eggs.
Yeah.
That's something that
Because
it's more common now. I'm not saying it didn't
Of
exist
course.
before, but it's
There's
more
almost
common now.
7 billion people. There's going to be mutations in everyone's DNA at the farthest fringes that, yeah, you might not be able to see the color blue, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't see
it's a
color.
numbers thing. We can, that's how evolution works. You replicate, but over time, there's going to be like one gene that's going to be like, fuck it.
Fucked up.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden that replicate. And then all of a sudden you have blue eyes and dark eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's same with like all sorts of shit. And if you can't handle gluten, bitch, you might have to die from gluten. You might have to, you know what I'm saying?
That's another thing, that people that are
There's people that are alive that shouldn't
Okay.
be.
we're gonna end up with this statement, because I do agree with that shit.
Dude.
I do agree with that shit, because modern society has made it easy for
Weaker immune systems.
weak people.
No, weaker immune system doesn't
okay.
mean they're weak people. Weaker immune
weaker
systems.
immune system. People with weaker immune system to reproduce.
Yes.
So modern
Because
society
1,000 years ago, those people would have
died.
died out.
Bye.
They would have branched. That would have been done.
There's like, no, bread makes me my stomach.
Yeah.
My stomach hurts. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you're dying because the only thing we
People
have.
are like, oh, I'm allergic. I'm allergic to dairy. I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, you're dying.
And
sir.
you're like, damn. If we lived in a cow village, you're
dying.
dead, bro. You're
Yeah,
dead,
bye.
bro. Bye. We don't need you.
Yeah.
You know, but people were having 7, 8 kids. You know, it was just
Yeah,
a different
and
time.
now it's easier to these people to reproduce, people who have like all of these like symptoms, and because modern society is pleasing
Well-
your weakness. Like if you cannot eat this, we have other stuff.
Well, I mean, and think about that, right? Like we were built for the most nutritious, dense foods, right? You came from a cave area, you came from a desert area, you came from a water, cold air, whatever. You were built on like very nutrient dense foods.
Yeah.
We didn't eat every day. We would go hunt and have food and we get stuffed as fuck and then give that shit like 2-3 days. We'd go back out and we'd come back and the women would have like the shit set up and the fire going. It'd be like a system,
Yeah.
you know? And if you couldn't eat meat, you were allergic, your body rejected meat,
Bye.
they would be like, you can have some corn, I guess. I guess we gotta give him
We
some
have some
corn.
blueberries for
What do you
you,
got?
sir.
Brussels sprouts for this weak ass bitch?
Do you want the possible beef?
The impossible
we
beef.
just hunt the impossible.
But that's the thing. So we developed from the most nutrient, like our brains got so big because of the fat and the meat that we were eating was so dense with nutrients. And now the nutrients are gone, right? The meat you're eating, unless it's grass fed, grass finished, and paying $20 a pound, right? That real red, thick, like bison meat and like elk and shit. If you're getting a regular old, just like fly by night meat, you know, ground up $7.99 ribeye, I mean, a significant reduction. So you're not even at your best. You're developed, but you're not really at your best because the food's less. What they're eating is corn. Now, you know what I'm saying? The line goes down and down and down and down. So you're gonna have a lot of dumb, like broken people.
And again, modern society. When I was a kid, at least like when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, I don't want this. Can you make me like pasta with butter or nuggets? My mom was like, no. You eat what the fuck we have.
You eat what we have. We made food every day growing up. Made food every day. Every day. Even if it was a 15 to 20 minute meal.
Yeah.
My mom would, the rice would be on a big pot, right? You have some frijoles you can reheat, and then it would be like a milanesa or some fish or
if
whatever.
you don't want that, you don't eat.
If you don't want it, you don't eat. And then, si no, llénate con la tortilla. Llénate con la tortilla.
Yeah, that.
Sí,
But
come
now
más
it's like-
tortilla.
now I've seen so many parents that are like, no, my kid doesn't like this. I'm gonna make him a special meal. It's like, no.
No.
Like you eat what we have, and abuelita,
But-
cálmate, eh?
Cálmate. Yeah, but if you teach them to eat, so for example,
He took
Japan.
his glasses. This
Yeah,
is important.
this is very important.
This is the end.
Yeah. So Japan has the same amount of access to processed, like empty calorie foods. And you can think of it right now. They love snacks. They love all these like crazy flavors and stuff. But they don't have the obesity problem. They don't have the same numbers that we do. So what's the difference? Their society is more about like enjoy yourself, but don't overdo it.
And they like shame whoever does.
Yeah, if you overdo it, that's like, come on, what are you trying to prove?
Yeah.
You have not, like, you know what the responsibility is elsewhere. And here it's like you can have everything and be anything and do anything and eat everything and
Yeah.
there's no
shame.
there's no shame involved. And in fact, we're anti-shame now, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't shame anybody for being 500 pounds when you're like, if we all got together and be like, bro, if we were in a village and you were so big you couldn't help with shit, we would be like, bro, we about to dump you over this mountain if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need you because we need everyone. Like, you can't just be like here. And so, but now we have, you know, people that come and you can eat all you want, and it's a quick dopamine fix. That's why dopamine, sugar, cocaine, everything is super. Like, drugs are a problem because people are just fucking diluting themselves.
And here in the United States, and we're ending with this because we're on 28 minutes, but here, food is a drug. And
Food is a drug.
I said it.
As we drink Coca-Cola.
And we drink Coca-Cola, and because fucking pizza is so cheap, like $12 for a large pizza, that doesn't make any sense. Food is a drug, and I'm addicted to some of it, sadly.
Yeah, it's okay. But you got to realize what is in it and what you want from it. Do you want a healthy, positive body, or do you want like a sluggish, slow, Neanderthal-y, dumb body?
And the second one, I would like to
then keep on keeping on.
No, I've been like taking a little bit more of myself. But do you have any last statements?
You're gay.
What?
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
That's the end of the episode. Mom, there's no kids coming. Bye.
Ciao.